Welcome back to the LPL for week 9, day number 5. EDG TOP. EDG, the cleanest game I've seen from them all split. To me, that felt like when BLG was on form. It was slow, it was methodical, it was more the Korean style, as I've said multiple times, but EDG, that was snappy as hell.
It was so clean. It actually reminded me, I don't think I've seen a cleaner game from EDG, not even at Worlds time.
Oh.
Because back then it was all about like get to the team fight phase, maybe mess up to a Latin American North team out there, or make it messy versus a North American team out there, and you're like, you have talented players. That's what you have. So maybe if you get to the team fight phase, you see iBoy start to really, flex a little bit. But this time it was not even about that. I mean, iBoy was flexing, but it was in laning phase. Yeah. He was in the right place at the right time. There was one criticism that I was hard on them.
That criticism's not good enough to not get him MVP, by the way, if you're wondering, in game number 1. So iBoy having a fantastic performance at Kalista in lane.
That's a Valentine's Day Tibbers, my friend.
It is.
And you know what? I'm feeling that love.
We got one of those in the office as well.
We do.
Yeah.
So love all around there. 34% of the damage coming out of him. That's 34% of the love.
Yeah.
That's why if I'm LokeN, I'm feeling that warmth. I'm like, beautiful. Unfortunately, he looks down. That's blood. That's what it actually is. So he's got to realize very quickly what that is.
He struggled. He really struggled. That Vayne matchup into Kalista, you're like, well, I never want to see this again, because that was just rough there from the Vayne standpoint.
Yeah, it was a tough one. That's why drafting is going to be incredibly important on this one, because I don't even think XX played this one out poorly. If you're on that side of the map, what you're thinking is, well, what do I have to do? Like, first thing that you tick in the box is like, okay, they are going to try and heavily focus on bottom lane. Keep safe. That's one thing that I can get Ben and in the bottom side working out very well. They were safe. They were actually, they completely gave away the entire wave.
Yep.
They're like, okay, we'll take this on our turret. We're not going to get level 2 ganked whatsoever. Level 3 gank's not a possibility. As long as XX like starts blue side, Will's top side, then he has the experience advantage by proxy. And then he's going to be able to get 3-6-9. They had this all planned out. The only problem is you can dive the bottom lane, but you can't dive the top lane. The Vladimir had always been topped up, so like Ray had been so strong as a weak side player, he didn't take any unnecessary trades, and he was always recognizing there was a possibility of XX looking for him. He even had that Tribush warded top lane, so he had it down packed and reduced as many options from TOP as possible. In the opposite end, suddenly you have Lissandra joining you, and it was just the worst day you could possibly have for LokeN.
EDG in every single lane, positive all around. Coming back up to Ray, because for me, Ray was definitely the highlight that game. There was some great team fights from him. His laning phase may not have been, great, but it's like, well, I'm versing a Kennen with Klepto. What do you expect? But picking up the Vladimir in the first pick and ban phase, like, hell yeah, it was absolutely fantastic.
And you know what? He locked in that solo kill. I know this wasn't one of them, but you got to see one of the biggest strengths that TOP had here, which was like that pick they had. Finally, when Steve died in the top lane, they weren't going to give it away for free. They go bottom lane, look for the kill on towards iBoy, but finally Lissandra joins up, and this is where, they go in a little bit too far deep. This reminded me of TOP versus Invictus Gaming, first series of the year, where TOP, when they're behind, they don't just try and play back.
Yeah.
They don't try and completely bleed out. I think they always take very necessary risks, and this was a necessary risk that EDG were able to punish.
You ask him where he's going? Well, right there. That's kind of the epitome of 369's fight as well. Always on the back foot, always having to play reactive there up against Ray. But being the proactive one there, Ray, man, Vladimir just looks so good on this guy. Like, there's so many champions for Ray. You go, well, we have to make sure he doesn't get that champion. We have to make sure that EDG don't get their pick of the litter.
And that was literally, if you were able to ask your audience, like, what, if you saw that image of that video, that for me, I would caption it as nothing personal, kid. Like, literally right behind the enemy team.
Right.
I love to be able to see people who come out with very exceptional teleport wards. I think there were 2 moments where there were, I'll count the Lissandra teleport. There were 3 moments where there were great teleport plays coming in from EDG. One that was in the lane where Lissandra was able to come in, and theoretically she didn't actually get much off of that TP, but it was just an insurance policy. If anything were to happen, they were able to get the kill on the AD carry, and he had to blow double summoners for that.
Yep.
Then there was that one in that play that you saw with Lissandra coming in, and in the same damn play, Vladimir in the backside.
Yeah, it was
so EDG has been really sick. Speaking about sick moments, I don't know if anybody saw that. Knight has a pretty sick haircut.
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. The same place I went, apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Cheap and nice.
Well, 68 yuan, Raz.
Yeah.
Is pretty good.
I refuse. I always go to this, like, It's not even souped up. It's not even a better hairstyle. It just costs more.
It looks fancy. Like, they have a menu. They have
yours?
No, yours does. That's how I found out.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you sent it to me. I'm like, man, $500 dues. Like, that's insane.
It's a bit much. I didn't do the 500 one. I don't know what you did. You just got pampered, apparently.
No, I didn't go there. I didn't go there because it cost too much money. You know what I went? I went to Knight's Hairdresser. That's
well, I'm sorry if you ask for the most complex thing imaginable. I get the basic stuff. I just want my hair did. I go in there, hair did. And that's why we're going to do one more thing.
Yeah, go
Get into the second game.
All right, just like our hair,
just
apparently.
like that.
Very important game. TP have already secured playoffs, as I said before, but EDG, if they win this series, higher chance against the teams like Sino Dragon still finding wins. So still in a very important series here. We're just already full frontal into it. We see a Rek'Sai first lock in there for Clearlove.
Rek'Sai is just a great pick to be able to hide options, especially if you're on blue side. You don't want to show your bottom lane at all. They finally get to see the Braum get locked in. So Neeko is a bit of a surprise, but it's nice to see that it's going to be, I think, this was one of the few teams that I would expect this to be a Neeko top lane. Not a lot of teams actually want to make that a true flex pick because they just give it to the bottom laner.
Pretty sure Knights either played it mid or we've seen it bot mid.
We've seen Maple play mid as well. So
yeah, we have.
We've just seen a lot of Neeko because she is a triflex and flex. And I think mid is also very safe. It's if you put her in the top lane, then she's susceptible to a lot of ganks. She doesn't really have a lot of ability to skirmish early on in the top lane matchups. She has great range, obviously, and she can push in and trade. But if you bring in a 2v2, like a jungler or a tank or literally any bruiser, she just has a problem with
this
that.
narrows it down, though. So Knight picking up the LeBlanc there, where EDG have not picked up their mid laner, gone for the Lucian Thresh in the bottom lane instead. Means that now, couple of mid bans to take away. Bit of housekeeping here for TOP in the second ban phase.
I like the Lissandra ban because it's just way too effective for Scout. Scout has had some incredible moments off the Lissandra ultimate in teamfight. And on top of that, she just is a one-man army and being able to clear out mid lane wave. So not only do they lock the LeBlanc that's kind of decent into the Lissandra, they're even going to say you have to work for that pressure. And they ban out the Lissandra anyways.
Well, we see Scout just pick up into the Zoe matchup instead. Vladimir, the final ban for TOP. Maybe question mark here for Scout.
I think the Aatrox is going to be a pickup here. You would almost assume that EDG would pick up Aatrox, unless if TOP try and nab it away from them. Then you start to question what Ray is going to go top lane.
Jack's Jarvan banned away. Maybe he just does force himself into that matchup once again. You don't have a Jarvan already, though, from EDG, so it's going to feel better for XX. Does he try his hand at it again after what was, you know, like you said before, not his fault? But XX just fell behind, felt irrelevant there in that game.
It's a good takeaway from Ray, and I think that XX has still played well on the Aatrox as is.
Yep.
And you're on red side, you can still lock in the Renekton and last pick and deal with Ray, whatever he decides to pick up here. I expect this to be a jungle Aatrox, and you just wait and see what Ray picks for himself.
All right, nice! Oh, okay. Redone Morgana. Now, of course, it is pretty much the same, but I've been spamming this so much in support. It just feels so good.
A few additions to her kit. I think the most notable one is the movement speed that she gets once she ulties you.
Yep.
So she can assure that she's in the fight. You have to blow flash, and you can't do it too late or she's already close to you. So it's kind of crazy to see what a level 16 movement speed boost that Morgana has can do.
Pretty insane with that Zonya's Hourglass as well. Same usual stuff here for Morgana, but into the mid lane, that's what makes it the most surprising. Yorick, the final pickup for Ray, but still for Scout. Like, I don't think we've seen a Morgana mid for a very long time.
Yeah, we haven't, but we have seen like Pawn and Scout do it in the past. It is a decent matchup towards the LeBlanc.
Yep.
So now that he knows that matchup he's going up against, it's going to be fun to see that he has a Morgana Lucian composition to let iBoy go wild.
I'll make some comments about it in a second, because with Fiora in, that means that it is going to be a bottom lane Neeko, but more I'm happier than not, because you have a Yorick into a Fiora top lane again. How volatile can you get?
And I mean, XX plays towards top lane anyway, so even if 369 starts to struggle, he knows that it's going to turn into a 2v2.
Yep.
I want to see what Clearlove can do, because for him, Rek'Sai with the black shield, he's going to be going towards the mid lane first. Morgana, regardless of her change, has such great push potential. Remember her dark, what is it called? Tormented Shadow.
Tormented Shadow. It's not
it's
soil anymore.
From Tormented Soil to Shadow. The lore team is going wild, apparently. They're in there. They're just messing with things.
She's evil.
But Tormented Shadow, the few things of the cooldown reduction, on whenever you have it on top of a champion and cannon minion wave.
Yep.
So if it's on a cannon minion or a champion, it just reduced us an insane margin where you can literally just Tormented Shadow again, right off the back of its last cooldown. So just watch out on how it forms in this matchup. That I expect her to be out and roaming so frequently, and she will always have a pretty large black shield for either the Rek'Sai early on in this game or the Lucian when he starts to be able to find himself outside the lane.
Remember that the binding cooldown is still pretty reasonable here on Morgana, changed like many patches ago, but
it's crazy right now if you're just listening to the players about dark binding. But
now it's insane, yeah.
Yeah, the hurt box right now, or the hitbox, I mean, it's just huge, and it's very difficult to kind of gauge where it actually is. So people get hit by that dark binding, and they're like, please, I don't even think it hit me.
You hit the tippy toe.
If my tippy toe was that long, then sure. So it's going to catch someone out. Remember, this is our first Morgana in the LPL after the changes. And so for this kind of a chain, where people are just starting to have those criticisms of the pick in solo queue, I think it is a very strong champion. And I think that people are going to get hit by that binding.
Also remember that Morgana was played against EDG. This is not as relevant, but in the spring final of 2018, it was actually a very big pick for Xiaohan.
Yeah, and I want to say one thing about the movement speed. Not a lot of people will talk about it, but they will be starting to talk about it. On the level 6, when you hit it the first time around, the bonus movement speed is 5%. You're like, well, what does that I don't even feel it, right? It's like when you go to the gym for the first time, and you're like, I feel hurt, but I don't feel anything else.
I don't feel buff.
Level 16, or when you get that max level in towards your ultimate, 55. They just added a 5 there. There was no addition, not at all. They just threw it in there, just an extra number in there. It is a huge level of movement speed, and like the second rank as well when you hit level 11 is 30%. So people will be talking about the fact that you can just jump right in there like Usain Bolt.
You can literally be Jin walking through a fight with the Morgana ulti. Oh yeah, it's gonna
She's dashing. You see her legs now, and she's running.
It's going to be Scout as well. Remember, there's going to be a whole lot of AP damage to follow it up as well. EDG cleaning game 1. Different composition, of course, but you're looking at that Morgana mid to debut into game 2. Good spot out there by the Ardent Blaze of iBoy. As TOP, Scout finds it too. Get out of here. That took a lot of mana.
And remember, if you Tormented Shadow, they know you're there!
Good timing from Scout. Way to go. Sorry, Rez, you were saying.
It's a visual bug. She's been there all along. But yeah, I mean, Morgana, if she ever Tormented Shadows a bush, I mean, she'll know. It's very apparent, it's very obvious, just based off the cooldown that you get, reduction statistics. But this is going to be a deep invade really later on.
Yeah, we'll spot out the clone there from Meiko. So ping's going down. Look at where the Rek'Sai is. That's a start at the Wolf camp there for Clearlove.
So he wants to be able to do full topside clear. That's what my expectation is right away. He wants to do, I would assume. Oh, wait a minute. Going to catch him out here.
Yeah, XX is behind them as well. Look at that cheeky level 2 gank, what we expected out of Clearlove last game.
And he's going to be darting straight towards the red buff. I expected Wolf, blue, then red, but he's also just recognizing that XX could just be here just in case. So it is going to be a forced vertical jungling from TOP. They already saw what iBoy and Meiko did to them last game. They'll pick the Neeko Braum, which is already super defensive, and they're just going to try and make it so iBoy and Meiko don't get that pressure early on.
Yeah. But it does make it so that Clearlove can go to the top side. He was spotted by a ward as he walks up here, but of course 369 knows that this is a little bit too early. Going to the red buff now for Clearlove.
Let's see what happens here. That's a red buff Rek'Sai. I mean, Aatrox.
Yep.
So Clearlove is going to be...
But he's going to have cooldown on the spins.
He won't have his level 3, so he's going to have to actually get out of this or flash away.
Waiting for the tunnels, waiting for Aatrox to find the knockup. Level 2 versus level 2, but look at where 369 is. Positioning here, good for TOP. Ray can't join because of the wave. Leaves his jungler alone, flashes over the wall. 369 commits, double flash. Binding's there. EDG's jungler is down. And dunked for first blood by 369.
Even with the late response that 369 had there, still had to force his flash out. and still wasn't safe. I didn't expect Knight to be rotating, but he comes in so early on to get the kill. That was my worry, because I was thinking Clearlove would go straight towards the red buff knowing that Aatrox would challenge him, decides to pick up the Scuttle Crab at the same time, and that was legitimately the difference. One Scuttle Crab is not going to get you to level 3, no.
Yeah.
So that just means that he spent a little bit of extra time picking up that extra camp, and now he finds himself both dead and, of course, no flash.
Without the bite from Clearlove, which does so much damage at level 3. That's 369 just getting abused by the followers of Ray. Red buff does go up to the Fiora, so a much easier matchup for the short time period of that buff itself for TOP's top laner.
It's kind of damaging that the Rek'Sai won't have flash early. I mean, that's been the way he's able to gank ungankable lanes. He still has that tunnel, but we'll have to make it so Thresh handles it.
There's the flash itself. Yeah, the Flay forces one itself. Heal, flash from Ben. Never mind, Clearlove still gets what he wants.
You can see how difficult it is for Rek'Sai with no flash to double down. So, of course, Meiko had to burn his own flash to make it happen, but at least that's no flash on Ben, no heal on LokeN.
It will spot out the other jungler in XX, however. That would have been a little bit closer with the Prey Seeker. Level 3 here for XX now, finally, as he looks for the third buff in the chain.
Chain him!
All right.
That's the love.
That's just what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens. Ooh, and he's got minion dematerializer. Of course, that's the expectation once you go towards the inspiration
tree. Are we up to 3 yet?
Nope, not yet. Nope, that's the future patch.
Sorry,
this is what happens when you look into the future patch. In the LPL too, we only just got to 9.5. What are you doing in that patch?
Everyone else is moving to 9.6.
Get off that patch.
Sorry.
This is what happens when you have casters going 2 patches ahead of us. Now it's 1 patch, but I'm just saying, dog, don't do it.
Yeah. All right, so 6 in the side of minion dematerializer. Might not matter in the bottom lane.
Oh, no.
Take the lantern. Add a lad. All right, EDG forced to back off in the Lucian Braum lane. The fact that it's even CS is good for LokeN and Ben.
This is a good question here if LokeN wants to hold the wave because it's slowly pushing into him, or if he's just going to try and hard clear it. But that's the case. Right now he's trying to do that. Trying to deny a pretty large wave here towards Lucian, but Thresh is trying to hold it. That's sad that the Observer is top lane, but I wanted to see how Thresh was actually, if he was able to hold the wave or not.
I think he's just backed off from the turret. Turret looks like it's pushing in. Fake Neeko has a have at it.
Yeah, get in there.
But iBoy will lose a considerable amount of CS here.
Also, Morgana's going to have some difficulty. She has teleport, so she's fine, and this is a cannon minion wave too, so it's just going to take a long time whacking at the big old cannon.
Yeah. She'll come back just in time. There we go. All right, teleport bird there. Remember, Knight doesn't have his, but the wave will reset after this anyway.
So, of course, going back to the point about Morgana, since this is the first time we're seeing her here, is that has 3 levels in W. That's expected. You want your Tormented Shadow to be maxed up because you want to be pushing the lane. You will naturally, as you already saw in the previous play, have that Dark Shield just in case the chain comes down. So it's supposed to deny a lot from the enemy team. And you're seeing from the build, it's actually fairly offensive. Has the stopwatch, you expect that to turn into the Zonias.
Yep.
But also has the Kindle Gem, where now I'm expecting that to go into the possible Proto Belt. So there's so much happening here.
I look forward to the Proto Belt on Morgana. I don't think that's something we've seen.
We just haven't seen new Morgana, so there's not a lot we have.
Very true. Hang on.
Oh, she's getting hit.
That's grand challenge. Remember, Ray doesn't have much mana. The Maiden hitting for less, of course, this patch. Not going to really make too much of a difference as 369 walked back to his turret.
But it stopped her from pushing that one fully in.
Yep.
You always love to see, and Ray's going to find a good time to back as well.
See the level 6 pressure in the top side of the map. Now, we were talking heavily about Morgana before the game and what she can do. That movement speed coming into effect now. Level 6 here on Scout.
First time EDG has started to get some pressure within their bot side lanes. Now Morgana is able to fully clear this one out. Cannon Wave is going to make it easier for her to... Actually, I would like it... I don't know why he decided to dematerialize that minion wave. He could have held on to it, would have actually reduced his Dark Shadow a little bit more. That's just my criticism there. But he just wants to rotate towards the Rek'Sai. Here comes a fight.
Not quite. Unbreakable up for Ben. Now that the door's up, Clearlove is nearby. Level 6 to sweep someone's eyes out. And Flash is almost up and available for the jungler. XX a level behind. Clearlove, still no Flash available, waiting for it, but XX is forced out. And so the bottom lane of TOP has to be very careful where they go.
It's so crazy how much that play that lost his Flash has really impacted the bottom side of the map. The first gank that he had would have certainly turned into a lot if he had Flash up. Now I think he does have it. It's always hard to gauge with the TV. There we go. It's just come up. And it's lost him that pick on towards XX, but here's the possibility. Meiko doesn't have Summoner here, though.
LokeN has to go out and drop Vision. Ben's still not level 6,
Get
so
him.
look at where LokeN is. Tremor Sense, they know that's fake.
He's right there.
They hit it anyway, just in case.
Kill him.
All right, EDG, they clear it out. Clone down.
All right, all right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Look at the collapse coming in here
Where
from
are they
TOP.
going? Wait a minute. What? What are we going?
Who gets
Boys?
over who? I mean, Meiko.
Boys, what's happening? What's the plan here?
Sitting
What
back
is
a
the
dragon,
call?
but they're spotted out. Culling's going to come through. This is a full 4-on-4. However, Clearlove locked down with the Tangle Barbs. Cleansed away from the binding, and iBoy coming back on in here. Scout with the flank. Goes in. Ulties into 3 members. Locked on down. Scout says kaboom! Holy moly! You haven't seen Morgana in that long, but let me tell you one thing. EDG know how to play it, and with Knight running away, the Prey Seeker doesn't need to land. They've taken everything from that fight, and now they'll get Dragon too.
That was beautiful. TOP did not know what to expect there. They're like, what are you guys doing in there? It's like the most obvious trap. Like you see a rabbit foot just randomly in the forest. And you're like, I feel like this is a trap. And then you think that, you've dealt with it, you've walked past it, and then you fall into a separate trap altogether. And that trap was Morgana.
Yep. This happens anyway. Pretty rough start there for TOP. Dragon's given over.
I love to see this again because this was a good call from TOP, but you start to see the mana gone from Knight. And then Morgana straight in, Black Shield on herself. They cannot stop her, and she's already so far deep there that TOP, at the very least, if they come out of this one alive, they're completely separated from each other, so they can't take the preceding fight. So that was just an amazing play from Scout.
And you've got your Protobelt, Raz, you got your Wish, you got Dark Seal with 4 stacks as well.
Yeah.
On Scout, level 8 Morgana mid. This feels good. Now, if you can get the blue buff over, it feels even better, but TOP are making a good fact to deny this away once again.
Good call, good call. But now I'm afraid about the Morgana. One thing that I've never thought I would have to say before is the fact that, Protobelt pushes you a little bit further forward. Yeah. Like, that's the benefit. Like, she's already had that movement speed burst. But now if she's in the same situation in the last team fight, where she's just right in the thick of things, you're like, oh my goodness, how are we going to escape from her ultimate? I think it's that much harder now. You have to force summoners if you're behind. But if you're ahead, and guess who's banking? You got it. I think right now EDG has a pretty damn strong Morgana mid.
Yeah, you just picked up the Dragon with the help of Morgana. You'll help pick up this Rift Herald as well. Look at where XX is, trying to deny the Herald, but if he goes in, I mean, the Smite needs to come through. World Ender there. Does he find it? Smite available. Who gets it?
Got it?
It is XX, but needs to escape here. World Ender going to proc away, looking to the dash over the wall. Yorick doesn't find it, nor does the Prey Seeker.
Sacrifice yourself, Knight.
Nah, look who's in. Knight. Yeah, close, but sticking around. Look at Clearlove.
Kill yourself, Knight. It's the only time I'll ever, tell you to do it, but I just want it. Get in there. Sacrifice your life for the cause.
Now it's just Meiko.
What?
Look, the Maiden's up as well.
We've got extra bodyguards, extra security in this venue.
Knight's still waiting around,
No
waiting for it
touching.
to expire.
Knight wants it.
Get in there.
Let's go. Flay first.
Don't be a chicken. Don't do it,
There's no vision.
please.
All right.
Knight, I'm asking one thing.
Rift Herald's gone.
All right.
A lot of time there for EDG to deny it, but a very fair trade here for EDG after losing the Rift Herald.
Yeah. By the way, Darkened Stance does a lot of damage. So if we're just talking about being able to outsmite, not only was the Aatrox even in levels, so you had the even level smite, but you also had the fact that he was able to just poke it in Darkened Stance. So damn, TOP is doing real well to be able to pick that one up, but it's just them trying to stop the bleeding from EDG's early pressure.
EDG doing a very good job to still bully around TOP like you like, Raz. Scout, remember, still the one with the lead. Even being 10 CS behind, the Morgana's the person to watch. We stated at the start of this game how impactful this pick could be. But now with the Protobelt, those Dark Shield's going to start holding a meaty chunk for people like Clearlove, for people like Ray.
Yeah, I think he's looking at this stage of the game, 12 minutes, now that the lanes have just kind of thrown themselves in Australian lanes with the bottom and top side. I think Morgana's going to start thinking about a Lucian a little bit, but here comes all in.
Hey, Clearlove's in. I think he's a little bit late.
Wow.
Never mind. That's so easy there for Clearlove.
He was trading evenly trying to get the kill onto Ray, but he completely threw away the possibility for a gank.
That was so late from Clearlove. I was getting worried that he just left it too long.
I think he was just as confused as I was. I mean, when you're trying to just go in for an all-in on towards a Yorick with his ult up, the Maiden still up and available.
Yep.
It's hard. I mean, the damage will get traded back towards you. Doesn't matter if you have any semblance of lifesteal. So That one was rough. He didn't come out of that one good.
Woo!
Okay,
Stay
got
here.
him.
Oh no, man! Ultimate only lands under the support. And iBoy will follow it up, door in hand for the Braum. Takes the Ignite, burns his Summoner in the Flash. And because of that, can't defend the top lane turret with his AD carry.
That one's big. I don't think, yeah, he has to stick around regardless of how low he is, just because if the Neeko comes in alone, that's an easy dive.
Difference is going to be, though, if LokeN can find him, but the Dark Passage gets him out. Turret plating for free there for iBoy.
Wonder what the call here for iBoy is going to be. I think he should have his Blade of the Rune King. But are we just catching people out in their bases? Oh, thank God. The only reason why the last one was doable was because there was a ward in that bush. But this time around, they didn't have eyes on iBoy and Meiko basing.
Yep. XX almost catching them out, but we'll be able to help push this turret. 15 seconds till plating drops on down. LokeN, Ben, and XX here. TOP needs some early game gold, and badly. There's going to be 2 turret platings before it falls.
There we go. Get the last one. We got 4 seconds left. Yeah, there we go. Now turret plating's done.
Okay, shares amongst 3 members, though. It was only 53 apiece.
You can take whatever you get, man. Whatever you can get.
Sure.
I'm not cheap. When I see a penny fall, I'm picking it up.
Yeah, of course. Every coin matters. I know people that just leave it there. We're seeing a 1v1 again. Let's go. 369 left in the cage. Maiden follows up. Comes back. I want your autograph. I'm going to be dodging away here. 369 does have the flash up and ulti available with enough mana to sustain the Yorick.
There's a lot of good pressure here. There's not a lot of vision from either teams because really at this point it's just 369 should be able to get to Ravenous Hydra, should be able to get to a state where he can split push on his own. TOP's focus is completely on the top side, but let's take a look at that. That's the 2 turret plating that TOP certainly rushed off that one play, so literally in just one fell swoop they took down 320 gold, but it was shared amongst 3 members, so not really that beneficial.
I'm surprised to see these games going a longer duration without kills. 15 minutes in, 4 kills for an LPL standard, that is quite low. In EDG, we expected this coming out of them, but for TOP, their early game, it can be bloody, it can be excruciating. It can be really hard to play against, especially people like XX369 in this early game. But this time, playing to the pace of EDG, it feels like TOP haven't lost before they've begun. And I say that after game 1 because EDG was so clean.
Yeah.
TOP are trading back. So although the blue buff this time does go across the scout, they trade off the dragon.
It really did feel like last game was a foregone conclusion at the 9-minute mark.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it was of a game. This time around, I think it was the early times in which they put Clearlove back literally on his first invade. It's fun that they're doing it right now, but the first time around it was just Clearlove alone. Looks like they've learned from that one because after losing his flash and his life, but primarily his flash, he couldn't make 2 of the aggressive plays he would have ordinarily made with flash. So now that they have this play, I think they double down in this top lane.
Consistency of iBoy in that bottom lane as well, just playing the lane until they get to that point. iBoy down 20 CS in this lane, so at least this time LokeN has a bit of good news story. Remember, that top lane still very big potential there. Tangle Barbs with the buff in 9.5, we know that if you're behind that minion wave, first champion hit there is just so much more excruciating.
I would expect, if I'm just looking at the play, as you can see Clearlove and Ray looking bottom lane, I'm a bit surprised about that one. I would expect Clearlove to go towards the stronger lane matchup.
I don't think we've seen a late 2v2 like this before.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but at least, just maul her a little bit. We'll be able to heal that back up. It's just slowing the game down if Clearlove is thinking that heavily towards Ray keeping up in lane.
Yep.
At this point in time, you should play towards your strength. Look at the CS difference at the top side of the map. It's been working out quite well for LokeN.
But Raz,
wow,
still in this bottom lane. XX has an idea. You can see that jungle v jungle, and he's kept here long enough that Tremorsen spots him out, but he has to back away with Meiko in the wing as well.
They had the control ward around here and top of the Scuttle Crab, so they can make the movement from bot to mid. The only problem is that Morgana has been getting pushed in and pretty heavily, not out-traded because that has been denied quite consistently, but LeBlanc has a pretty good control of the lane, so Scout can never assist the play on the bot side. You're starting to see LokeN and Ben get away with it in the top side of the map.
Yep. Bit of free turret once again.
Here we
EDG
go.
to play the response. Flash already burnt there. Protobelt on Morgana. Oh, that's so scary. Turret will be traded off there, so at least EDG still trading up, or trading even rather, taking the summoner from 369's worth, and they're just threatening another buff.
Finally, Scout's able to get out of the lane. I mean, that's what I've been wanting to see. If he's able to get out, then you start to see the game get accelerated, but he needs to come back for this cannon wave. Can he get it?
I mean, he will be able to clear it. Yeah, that's what you want.
This is the real challenging part. No, it's not. Got them all.
That's all right. He's caught up to CS tonight as well, so It was quite a bit behind. Gonna say this Morgana's just doing fine at the moment. Binding, look at this, here we go.
Easy.
Take that.
Once you start to get levels in your abilities, it is literally that easy. Now that he's moving towards what I would expect to be his Ludens. Yeah, down goes the Maiden. It's fine, that divorce, I think, ended well.
Sure.
But I would expect, of course, the Scout to be going towards Ludens. Echo in the next one, and he's going to be able to have enough AP, but iBoy caught off guard.
Yeah, let's not look mid, because the heal was burnt there by LokeN. Knight hasn't been in a fight this whole game, just jumps in for his first g'day.
He's been hungry. If you're getting locked down in the mid lane and you can't make a play on towards the Morgana, look for something else. And you could see Lucian was just so far up, had no reason to be there.
Yeah. Of course, Knight had been in that fight before, but he's second g'day, let's call it that, for TOP, getting the pick off now that iBoy's down. TOP move around to the mid lane, clear out some of that vision on the top side river as Baron's about to spawn. And you can see the priority here for EDG, regaining control. They bring Ray up just to make sure there's no early invade.
I don't think either team does Baron well. This was what starts to make these compositions very weird. If you've seen the early portions of the split when Baron was just a game that you never wanted to play. The first team that started Baron would oftentimes be the team that gets completely swept. Because you don't have a tank. You don't have a true tank to be able to deal with it. If you're talking about Braum as your true tank, you're talking about Aatrox as your true tank. We're having problems in this discussion. So both teams are going to try and look for a bait. You have the Thresh, and in TOP's instance, you have the LeBlanc. But no one's going to take it with how respectful they have been. So really, I think the winning game is if they get a hook towards the mid lane when they're trying to challenge for the wave, or the split push battles in the bot lane.
Yeah, very good point. Just find ourselves in the mid anyway. One more. LokeN takes it. Easy escape there as well for TOP's bottom lane. Meiko looking for the hook, but TOP starting to trade up now. Scout left in the top side of the map, but TOP can keep pushing this bottom side, force the issue further.
This is just an awkward lane assignment from EDG, putting the Morgana top lane.
Yeah.
That is the worst place for her to be, because you want her in the mid part of the map to be able to help and rotate with the jungler or your AD carry. If she's completely on the opposite side of the map, she's just there as a split pushing tool. What's the point at that point?
That's your wave clear at the moment with iBoy down. Clearlove, Ray can't get near the wave. Meiko can't land the hook. Here we go. Teleport coming in from Scout, needs to find something. Binding out so early, will need to flash in here. Pops the ultimate down, here comes the Shackles. Pop Blossom as well. Scout locks down two, but EDG, Clearlove in the front line as well. It's okay as Meiko finds another one. TOP have been discoordinated in this fight as Binding smacks him down. Scout just does so much damage.
He was the MVP of the fight. The flank comes through, and even though he didn't have the vision to be able to know where his Q was going, he expected them to run. He said, "You ain't running?
Yeah.
I'll take the fight." Goes right on top of Neeko. One of the biggest strengths of Neeko is her self-peel. But how can you peel from a Morgana that's black shielded herself and is right on top of you?
Yep.
I think it is such an ingenious counter to deal with the Neeko pick that really, right now, TOP that's been doing fairly well and has the gold lead is struggling to deal with.
Black Shield just has no cooldown as well. Hello Maiden and hello Teamfight.
Just focus on two players, the AD carry, LokeN, and dealing with the Morgana, because she just goes straight forward. She doesn't even care that she flashes in for just two people because it's the right targets. Already is able to just completely nail down the Neeko, and really Meiko is just there to say, okay, I'll do him a little bit of chip damage. I know you already dark binded them, able to get the second dark binding on XX, and that was lights out.
As soon as they committed so far forward there, just came to the end. Ray, Meiko all survived in that fight. And your mid laner, Morgana. Hey, let's go again. There's a Luden's Echo second. Those minions need to be quiet, by the way. I don't know what Julie's feeding those children, but I tell you what, bit loud.
It's like in the elementary school. If you're in a class and the lights go out, what do the kids do first and foremost?
Oh, they scream.
They scream.
They scream.
They make the teacher regret ever turning the lights off. If you're watching the movie, you're watching it with the lights all on.
Yeah.
Because you guys did this to yourselves.
That's fair.
So I'm just saying, you better calm down, Yorick, before you get nerfed. Because now if you're screaming, yeah, Riot's watching now.
Yeah. I mean, they took the Maiden on hit damage herself and what Yorick activates as well. I believe Frick said he didn't think much was going to happen because of it. But as I kneel and almost fall over, I think
yeah, you didn't have to
had a moment there, folks. I think Ray still done pretty well here in the Yorick matchup.
Oh,
you
let's
can see
go.
the percentage health damage is still there. Grand challenge issued here from 369. That ulti down, where ulti is still up for Yorick. That's what happens when you burst him.
Yep, really did feel like a 5v1. If you throw that up on YouTube as an insane 5v1. Yeah, it's been technically correct. The Maiden and 3 minions, but This has just been EDG once again getting complete mid-priority.
Yep.
Morgana's on the right side of the map, and they're just fishing for hooks.
They will find Meiko, however. Now look at the on-hit here from LokeN. Goes to half health. Knight coming in for the flank, but warded out. EDG walking the other way. Hook. Close there from Knight.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Fifth game in MS. Oh, you know, maybe.
Yep.
I'm not that old, though.
No.
Fifth game in MSI, it was SKT versus EDG. And this was the pawn pick of Morgana versus the LeBlanc. Because it was FLICKR so confident, wanting to pick up the, you know, game 5 LeBlanc pick. He was so confident on the pick alongside Bengi. And he goes into the matchup and was completely negated. You saw the flank coming through from Knight, but what was he going to do? The target that he would go towards, maybe the maybe iBoy, maybe Scout himself. Or, as the game goes on, a squishy Clearlove. But Black Shield just negates the damage and the follow-up if you are not going to be able to get the stun. So it's just difficult here for LeBlanc to find any effectiveness out of the sideline.
Yep. That note as well, I miss Bengi. If the Tie can come out of retirement, so can he. Well, technically player retirement is what I mean. Meiko getting pushed back in the mid lane. EDG still trying to get their way through as TOP just keep clearing it out. Now this is good for TOP. As long as they can play towards 369. He's got his Trinity Force now as well, and he can keep scaling.
This is where the action starts, right? You look at your watch a little bit. It's 25 minutes into the game, and 369 just wants to be able to play this game. Now look towards Baron, because that should be the response to this.
Okay, so 369, how long does he survive? Are we doing this again, Raz?
Yeah.
Almost. Meiko lives on, but 369 saves his life so that TOP can do what?
Happened so quickly that TOP didn't even get prepared for it. I think that was the best that EDG could look for, because I was worried that 369 would be split pushing, TOP would get control around the pit, because no team wants to go towards Baron and just start it out with the composition that they have, but they want to make the best use of the split pushers that they have. So, I mean, TOP were looking to be able to just start knocking at death's door, and it was EDG that really just went for the kill before TOP were even ready.
Yeah, at least this game TOP have a better response. Bottom lane has a lead. You have a Neeko on hit there for LokeN. Doesn't feel like the Puff and Southwind situation where Knight is still a very big threat. And Knight, you know, both games has been big impact, but not really big enough here against EDG. Slower length of play, not suiting TOP.
It's getting better for TOP because the items are starting to come through. The longer the game goes through, you start to see Neeko's AD, attack speed, all of that be able to really run rampant versus the frontliners. And the frontliners for EDG are just so squishy.
Yeah.
So Neeko should be fine. Could even really work well with the snare that she has with the Braum passive. So front to back is easy for Neeko, while EDG has to fear a lot that if they get a hook, who do they actually go towards? Aatrox says, okay, I have my ulti up. Maybe the Neeko, but she has her ulti up. I feel like right now it's all about the flank wars or the flank plays coming up from Scout.
Already found himself in one, already found those bindings that just secured the fight.
Could be a double Mountain Dragon.
Yep. I was going to say second to third fight. Big difference here. Maiden comes out 6 versus 5. And let's go. Dragon started up while the top turret getting worked on here.
TOP are just going to hold them. Well, I think Fiora is going to try to go for the inhibitor turret. There's no one backing, no one can back.
That's right. EDG need to make it quick. XX trying to stop it as well. It's going to be Scout who makes the decision.
Investigate.
It's already gone down. I mean, inhibitor turret. No, not going to commit the full. I feel like he could have found it.
He could have. He was worried about the members he didn't see. Someone could have been there a little bit faster. There we go. The minions will get the turret anyways. This is just great from TOP. I don't think they'll be able to really do much about that. It's on the same side of the map that Baron is. So what TOP can do is push an extra wave. Sure, there's no turret there to now bounce the wave right back. So EDG have to stay top line permanently. And that could be good in the long run if 369 just goes bottom lane as a response and tries to push it out. I think TOP is going to be fine in a split pushing game. They already have the gold lead. And it's EDG that has to try and find an opening in a fight.
Putting Knight up there as well is going to put pressure on the side lane, especially towards the Baron, having a top side open there at 27 minutes. So dangerous here. EDG, if they force the Baron, the threat's still there, especially with 369's teleport.
But iBoy's not comfortable yet. He's looking for his rapid fire cannon. The moment he gets it, I think he's willing to take the fight. But as it stands, I think Scout is ready for the fight. He has his 3 items ready. I think he's going to be as strong as he can be at this point in time in comparison to how LeBlanc is. So this is the best stage for him to pick up a fight, while iBoy is saying, wait, you protect me. You get the black shield on me. We start to roll this one in. Oh, they're going straight forward the moment they see Fiora on side lane.
They're going to start it up. LokeN to the mid lane as well. Has those 3 items himself. XX from the side. Let's not see a rinse and repeat. 50-50 Baron.
No.
This time won by EDG. The turn from Clearlove as he gets black shielded up. Protobelt's out here from Scout. Watch the Morgana as he launches down on a binding. Flashes on in. Did Scout ulti? Not just of yet. He already found it before. Ray heads on forward too. Baron's picked up, but the Fiora is on another inhibitor turret. EDG start picking them off and continue on with XX. But Ray is coming around. Won't find the fight, but Fiora looking for the inhibitor turret.
TOP once again a step too far forward. I think that they were having the Fiora split pushing. Obviously, she had 2 more waves to push out, and that's EDG with 2 Mountain Dragons. I mean, right now, if you see anybody in North America, if it was like Double Lift watching, of course he's just mind blown. I hate this game. Mountain Dragon, double of them, made it so TOP could hardly respond to the speed to it. Take a look at how fast it goes. He tries to steal it, but at this point, Fiora has already just started to go towards the inner tower. And TOP is like, wait, do we want to play a longer team fight? We're weaker here. We can't pick up this win. Yep. But if we try and stop their backs, look to what Fiora's doing. She hasn't even started in the inhibitor tower. So EDG pick up the better trade by far.
As soon as you ult as Neeko as well, remember that damage output stops. You come on down, you're an 80 carry Neeko, still does a lot of base damage. And that fight LokeN with 3 items, QSS as well. Struggling to manage against EDG. Now the gold blooms out here with Baron buff and bottom lane turret.
It's my favorite part of the game. You start fishing. I mean, look towards Morgana throwing out dark bindings, and then the Thresh following up with his hook. It's going to be damaging for anyone who takes that.
30% cooldown by this point at the very least. Sorry, you have a Luden's Echo. I guarantee you that's 45%. As a cosmic insight. No, you've got... Ooh.
Just don't get hit.
Yeah.
All right.
That's low cooldowns anyway. It doesn't matter. Bindings coming out left, right, and center. Turret goes down. 303. The Morgana mid debuting in a nice fashion. EDG. Next turret is the word. TOP getting shut out here underneath.
And just see that large black shield. That's humongous on top of iBoy. How do you penetrate that in this kind of a lineup?
Not too sure.
Okay, Fiora, you do you.
This is the 3rd inhibitor turret getting worked on. 1 already dropped out. Yorick has to go back. Teleporting now. That is, of course, Scout.
This is a pretty big wave. You already see that the next wave is going to take some time to come through. I think EDG are going to try and double down on this one.
Knight looking for the flank in the middle. Just goes on back to the distortion bubble.
They should get it.
Turret should drop on down. Scout Protobelt's forward. Binding doesn't land. EDG still here as a 4-man unit while Fiora's mid.
Here comes the next wave. At this point, they just need to shepherd the cannon waves through. The cannon wave is going to deal a lot of damage. So they just need to do as much damage as they can on the inhibitor.
Yorick's eventually pushing the Fiora mid back as well. Like, look at this. 369 will have to make a decision relatively soon as EDG might make one themselves. The next wave coming into the bottom wave, but look at the mid lane wave too.
Ooh, so close being able to nail that Braum. If the pick had gone through, they would certainly have tried to get the kill. But now they're just playing this one super slowly. This would be a triple Mountain Dragon, but they got the pick.
They got the pick onto XX. Didn't have a chance to ulti as well. Baron buff's going to expire in 10, but with that 1 member down, maybe the inhibitor comes next.
This is just disgusting to watch play. EDG's vision control has just been so good. Yeah, I'm sorry you couldn't get the pick on towards Rek'Sai there. They have no eyes on this side of the map.
This from EDG has been one of their cleanest series we've seen in the 2019 spring. Setting up, remember, 2018, the grand finals against RNG, we'll not forget. But in 2019, the setup here against TOP to move forward and get closer, maybe doesn't start with this fight as the pick already comes off. Scout's down, but the hook's on. The Death Sentence is not one there. 369 into the middle of the fight. Riposte away, knocked on back. The Igniter's down, but GA still available. This slows it down from TOP, gives them another day to die.
The main brunt of the damage here from EDG is iBoy, and he doesn't have much mana here, so I think they could have gone a little deeper for this one. But at the very least, they push them back from their mid lane tower, and they can start to really reset the wave. You can already see this wave going so deep here. Means that TOP can start layering down vision. We're just talking about the only control wards out there on the map before that play happened. It was all the way up top lane if you look at the mini-map, just in that tri-bush. That is the most outdated ward I've ever seen with how far this game has gone. See XX get picked off here, and he of course wanted to go through ultimate, but has a bit of an animation time.
Outdated ward, huh?
Yeah, it gets cleaned out. 30 gold!
Yes.
Whoever that is should feel bad that it was out there for that long.
Vision line going to be replaced, as you mentioned there before, from TOP. Now towards the Baron, getting out there. finally getting themselves out back into that river.
Yeah,
Gold Lead
where's
is
our
not...
defensive control wars top lane?
Yeah. I was going to say, Gold Lead's not too much for TOP as well in this game too. It's not a do-or-die situation at the moment. I look at Fiora.
This is the defensive ward. It doesn't matter if we can't see you. Someone has to respond to the Fiora. There's not a lot of brains behind that, but I can respect it. I just want to see, thankfully right now it's already been responded. You see the control wards that deep into the TOP's top side. But it seems like EDG could just go for a solo on the Elder Dragon when it comes up. That would be my call here. There's been so much focus towards the top side that right now TOP is completely disincentivized of Elder Dragon. It's going to take some time before it comes up.
Yeah.
So there should be no reason for them to be there at all at this point. But I like the idea. We've seen this last year when teams have focused solely on the Baron buff with triple Mountain Dragon.
Yeah.
That they completely get Elder Dragon completely whisked away from them.
You have an open in here. Let's go for it. 34 minutes in the game. Baron's going to be up again. Second time's the charm hit for TOP. EDG have shown their faces in the mid lane. They clear out the wave. It's going to reset. But TOP playing around the vision they now control around this pit.
It's going to be rough. Can TOP pick up this fight? I mean, they're in position.
I mean, 369's coming in first. The Maiden needs to drop down. That's the one thing here for Yorick, and they need to make sure Clearlove doesn't get onto the back line. Binding goes out, but Hook lands first. 369 out of position here. Goes into GA. Can't even use his ultimate. Culling into the back line as well. AoE perfect again. EDG find the pick, and 369 is down. Not having his ideal series as Ray flashes forward. Takes down LokeN as well. Get over here, champ. It's time to die. Ray digs Graves, digs XX, and he's going to dig himself away. EDG, they get top, they get 80 carry. They might even just get game 2.
Just look at how frustrating it was for TOP there. Who was going to be the one that starts the fight? They were in the bush and they were looking at each other. It was like, is it going to be Aatrox? Well, hell no. I'm going to die if I do that. Is it going to be Braum? Well, I mean, if you're talking about me looking for an engage, you're looking at the wrong person.
Well, it might be him again, Raz. This just looks like game 1 ending. The fight for the Nexus is not there. And TOP, you thought this was going to be a competitive series, but EDG, they walk in, they sit them down, they say, TOP, you may be secure in playoffs, but we're walking towards the same path.
This has been a rough ride for TOP as of late, but man, is EDG looking good. I can't believe the kind of EDG we've seen here, just coming off of their victory versus BLG. And even though they lost to FPX just prior to that, they were looking phenomenal in that set. Right now, they look playoff ready.
All right, EDG, Raz.
What's up?
Coming into today,
yeah.
I said, all right, you know, EDG, like they're a team that could potentially fall out of favor, could potentially fall out of the playoff race.
Yeah, you were talking down on them.
I was, because you got BLG, you got Sino Dragon doing well, WE are doing well.
I think Sino Dragons are looking very weird. I wouldn't say that they're doing well per se.
Weird is a weird word itself.
Well, because they're finding wins versus their top teams, but they're really struggling versus teams around that. And I think that's something we need to focus in on, because they're players that don't have high highs in individual skill. I think Gala has been surprising. Because coming into the split, I think Gala has been a member that has been strong in team fights, but laning phase hasn't been a particular strong suit for him. But you're right. I think talking about our top 3 teams vying for that 8th place spot, I thought EDG were going to be just fine, but it's surprising how the teams coming up in the league are really challenging them for that spot.
That's right. EDG, you know, again, their schedule looks pretty okay. V5, IG, pick up 9 wins in EDG. You have to say more than likely they'll secure their chance at playoffs. And in this form as well, we don't know how far they'll go.
It's definitely a sad tale for the teams underneath them. Sino Dragon sending all those teams that are just trying to vie for that one spot. And EDG says, okay, we'll just pick up a win versus a team that's already been secured a playoff spot. You're like, all right, well, I hate you.
TOP were aiming for that first position, like trying to triumph over IG as well.
Well, TOP has been, I wouldn't say a slump, but the fact that they lost to not just EDG in this fashion, right? I thought this was going to go close to the wire, but it was definitely just a smashing victory for EDG. And then earlier in the week, they lost to Team WE.
Yep.
So TOP, when it comes to these late game stages team fights, it's been rough. But let's get the
damn story for
match
you,
of the week. Let's go.
So we have just finished pick and ban. This is our match of the week, and we've come through. This literally finished moments ago, so we're going to be jumping in live before we have a quick look at the pick and ban. And already I'm like, all right, where do I look? There's Tristana, Silas.